Hello again, it's Leslie Davis with the Earth Protector Show, and I'm here with my buddy Kelvin Burns.
How you doing?
Okay, Kelvin. You folks remember Kelvin Burns? He's the MELANICS guy from Michigan, telling me that the word is 7 of the MELANICS want to get an Earth Protector shirt, you know, with the logo that we have on the Earth Protector shirt. So we'll see. Maybe we'll hook up with the MELANICS.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got a question I want to ask you, you know, that's been on my mind.
Okay.
And I sent out an email, and I got in trouble with some people when I mentioned the idea that the goons that attacked me at Hennepin County, I call them colored goons.
Right.
So the lawyer sent me back a letter. He said, well, you don't want to call black people colored people. I said, I don't know. When I was a kid growing up, I mean, it's what they called it. You wouldn't call somebody black when I was a kid. If you called somebody black, they'd mop up the street with you or something.
Well, we talked about this before.
Yeah, but didn't come away clear on it.
Well, I'm going to say it like this. We've been called 5 different things. And my people have been misled a long time. They're still being misled. The Reverend Jesse Jackson, I think it was 1995, he had it documented in Washington, D.C. under the Clinton administration that we were African Americans. No such people as African Americans.
Right. Okay. I don't like the African American.
We're not African Americans. All of us didn't come from West Africa. Some of us were already here. This African American thing, everybody black is not from Africa. We're from 4 corners of the earth. So this African American thing to me is bullshit. Now, first they called us Ians, Negro, colored, black. Now you're African American. We're the only one been named 5 different things. Englishman always been an Englishman. A Chinese always been a Chinese.
Chinaman.
Right, been always what he is.
A China woman.
Whatever.
So what are the black people? Are they colored people?
No.
So when I put colored in that email that I sent out, the guy went nuts on me, you know?
Well, actually, a lot of black people don't know who they are, and I've been telling them for years that we're Israelites, we're Hebrew Israelites. These black people here are Israelites. We are not African Americans.
They're not colored people.
We're not colored people, we're not African Americans, and some of us are Moors.
But why they call them Moors? They're always called colored people.
Right, but some of us are Moors, which means black, or Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, we're Israelites. But
if you're referring to the people generally, you know.
Well, the people generally, most of them deaf, dumb, blind, crippled, and crazy. They don't know who the hell they are. Whatever you call them, they're ready to run to it.
Okay, but I put out my email, and these goons that attacked me at Hennepin County, they were colored people. By saying colored people, CNN did a story, and they said, calling black people, African American, or whatever it is, calling people of color, colored people, is a slur. It's derogatory.
Well,
I don't think so.
Well, actually, people of color, but the thing is, we've been called too many things.
Yeah, but I want to call them something now when I refer to them. I'm not going to say that they're black people, because I don't go for that black, and I'm not going to call them Negroes or something, but to me, they're colored people. I don't think that's you think that's a derogatory thing?
Well, it's an old-fashioned word, but we actually are Moors, or Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. That's the proper name, and they know who we are. There's no such thing as African.
Well, if you call somebody an Israelite, they could be an Arab, they could be black. That's more of a nationality.
Well, that's actually these black Americans. That's what they are. They don't know. They don't know who they are. If you've been called 5 different things, that's confusion right there. You don't know who the hell you are.
But you think it's insulting to call them colored people?
People of color. People of color.
No, but if you're talking about a particular guy that said, yeah, I was out with this guy, he said, well, who was it? What was it? I said, well, it's a colored guy that I know or something. Whoa.
Well, and nowadays they would probably be black. Or,
well, I don't know. I don't think, my opinion, calling somebody a colored person, that's a person of color, is not insulting or derogatory
this thing about this African American thing. Afrikaners.
That I never liked from the beginning.
Afrikaners conquered Morocco. Then they named it all Africa. Americanus, that's the name, that's how America got his name. He was a general, okay? And Africanus was a general that conquered Morocco. So you got African American. African American, both of those are European names. So you naming yourself, I tell black people all the time, you name yourself after Johnny come late. You can't name yourself after white people. African American, both of those are European guys. These were real people. Africanus was
Okay,
a white
well,
man.
we agree
Right.
that we don't like that.
Right, I don't like African Americans.
African-American.
There's no such thing as African
We
American.
don't, they're not going to call them Negro people or something. That, I
What
don't
the
go
word
for that.
Negro in Spanish means black, okay?
That's negro, negro.
And
Black.
African American to me is insulting.
Okay.
Right.
So then what are we left with? We're left with colored, and we're left with, what else we got? African American, black, Negro, colored, or what?
Some of us refer to ourselves as Moors, which means black.
Well, we'll call them Moors. Okay.
Some of them are Hebrew Israelites.
All right.
But that African American thing, I don't agree with it. That African American thing is bullshit.
Would you agree with that calling somebody a colored person is not insulting them?
Well, people of color, a man of color.
Person of color.
Or person of color,
Okay.
or black, but this African American thing, like I said, we've only been calling ourselves that for the last 20
All
years.
right. Well, I put that in the email.
Right.
And my lawyer went and he said, don't use this, but don't use colored, I guess.
But black folks are so confused about who they are.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've been explaining it to them all along.
All right.
You know, to call yourself an African American, you're calling yourself a slave.
Okay.
We're not. All of us wasn't from Africa. That's some bullshit.
But if I call a man a colored man, that's not insulting him
Well,
or a slur.
to the younger generation, it would be, but the older people it probably wouldn't.
If the younger generation.
The younger generation probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah, well, they're kind of a mess themselves. Say, you know, as we're on the subject here of what to call people, I've got this little book that you could call me for, put the number up there, little Constitution, pocket Constitution.
The constitutional
A lot
law.
of people don't know what the Declaration of Independence is and the Constitution of the United States and what's the difference and what's the Bill of Rights. And with all the education and all the years of school, be surprised at how few people really know the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. So give me a call, and it won't cost you anything. I'll send you this free little book. I'll pay the postage, just to inform you and educate you about the Constitution of the United States, what it is and where it comes from. And this is put out by the Heritage Foundation. It's not Leslie Davis's book. So get you that. And I want to talk for a minute about, I'm back to the fluoride subject.
Okay.
You know, I can't get through to people because the power on the other side of the Plofroid, the dental community and the health department and all of that,
Right.
they're all together and they're really powerful. And those of us that are against fluoride in the water are really small compared to the power that they could bring forward.
Right.
But I don't want these kids getting the water. And you get it when you drink it, shower, do your dishes, do your laundry, and you got fluoride in the water. You don't need it. You're getting enough from your toothpaste and from some of the other stuff.
Exactly.
But it's real tough. So that's why I got to run for governor, because if I don't become governor, I can't get anything done.
No.
I have no power.
Right.
You're governor, you get to sign the checks.
Right.
Then you got some power. People listen to you. So you could go to the Earth Protector website and read up a little bit on the fluoride issue. I want to mention that. And this is going to be the logo with the Earth in it for the Melanic guys, huh?
Right. The Melanics are interested in
Well,
something like
Melanic,
that.
that's black, isn't it? I mean, what does Melanic mean?
Melanics mean people with melanin in their skin.
Melanin, black,
Black,
color.
right. Melanin, people of color.
So if you're Melanic, you're a
You're a
person of color.
It doesn't have to be a black, it could be a black American. Well, black, I don't like to say American. It could be a black, it could be a Hispanic, it could be a Puerto Rican.
But just if you're a regular old Puerto Rican or a regular old Mexican, you're not a Melanic because your skin is dark?
Well, they're Melanics also. They're people of color too. They're part of the.
In the Spanish community, there's some Melanic people, but just being a Mexican person or a Puerto Rican person, you're not a Melanic.
Well, we got some Melanics, we got some Puerto Ricans and Mexicans that are Melanics also.
That are Melanics.
Yes, sir.
Right. But how does a Mexican become a Melanic? He's got to have some darker pigment or something in his skin?
Well, he's of the same descent that I am.
I'm not a Melanic. I'm just sunburned.
Right.
I'm not a Melanic.
Right.
What would make me a Melanic? No matter how dark I got, I can't be a Melanic because you got to be a person of color.
It's got to be in your blood.
In your birth. Okay.
Right.
So the Melanics are up in Michigan.
Well, they're Michigan. It's based out of Michigan.
Based out of Michigan.
Right, and the big headquarters is in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
We got a Melanic, Malid on the west side, and we have one on the east side. We're trying to bring them together, though.
Are they getting along, or?
Well, it's the east and west side thing, and we should be under one umbrella. And you know, we have people out of Flint and Grand Rapids.
Which side of Detroit was Trump on when he was up there last week at that church?
I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
I heard he was on the east side.
East side of Detroit, Michigan?
East side of Detroit, right.
Uh-huh.
And, well, I call the west side the best side.
That was Keith Porter, for those of you that don't know. Keith Porter is a technical guy that's helping us get this show together, and that was him giving a shout out from the booth in there.
Detroit,
okay,
Michigan.
So he was on the east side up there, and looked phony, you know. He was out in the crowd with the black people, and he just didn't have it. He didn't have the feeling. The people that are there at the church, they feel the
Right.
Lord. Trump don't know. Again, he just feels the money jingling in his pocket, you know.
Right.
But he was kind of trying to rhythm along with the people. But I give him a little credit. You know, he went up there and he was doing a little something.
Well, I heard some guys the other day talking about the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
And there was some black people were happy that they took the Confederate flag down in North Carolina, right?
Somebody went up on the pole. A woman went up on
and took it down. And my thing is, if the mind state of the people hasn't changed, what difference does it make if you take the flag down? Now, my point is to black people, the Confederate flag represents your southern slave master, and the American flag represents your northern slave master. One flag is no better than the other. The blacks fought on the Confederate side, and they fought on the American side. So one flag is no better than another. We still getting hung and killed and burned and beat the fuck up under this flag. So it doesn't make a difference about the Confederate flag. Everybody's so excited about the Confederate flag, but to me, it doesn't make a difference. They want to hang the Confederate flag up, let them hang it up. And to me, I want the Confederate flag up to remind my people that they're not free. It's just imaginary freedom.
Well, they're as free as any of us.
We're not free. Black people are not free. It's imaginary freedom because half my people are locked up here.
Am I free?
Yeah.
I was in the Hennepin County Government Center sitting on the thing, resting after using the bathroom.
Right.
And those colored guys came over and took me out, or the black guys, or the Melanic guys, or whatever.
Well, you got to remember something.
So how free was I?
You got to remember, he's doing what his master telling him to do. Somebody probably from the high up telling him what to do. You have black people that's serving their master. So that's probably what happened.
To me.
Right.
So what's happening to the other people of color that are being victimized? There's plenty of people that are successful or well-educated, nice homes and nice neighborhoods and all that.
Well, education doesn't make you all right. Those are
no, but it makes you. The fact of the matter is, the more education a person has, the less inclined they are to be a criminal.
Well, I'm not going. I know a lot of people.
Maybe I got that wrong.
With white collar criminals.
Okay.
You have gangsters. A lot of these guys out here that's gangsters are really intelligent.
Right.
And I know a few gangsters back home and here, straight A students. Straight A students.
Okay. Well, you could be a gangster then.
And you got to, a lot of your big guys like Donald Trump, their family were gangsters.
Yeah, he's a gangster.
The Kennedys, their family were gangsters. So and they cleaned their lives, they cleaned their lives up, and they did well later on. But
Right.
most people, most rich people, got their money the wrong way. Most rich people, richness is inherited, but most rich people, if you look at their family background, how they got their money, they
Yeah.
did something wrong. Selling corn liquor, bootlegging, okay, after hours. What's going on today is not new.
Well,
this stuff was
even when
going
they
on in the
brought it in
30s.
in Prohibition, the
That's-
Kennedys
that's-
made their money from
That's
the old
right.
man
Most people,
was a bootlegger.
that's right. So most people got their money wrong. Nobody 100% clean around this camp.
Yeah. My family was clean. My father went to work every day.
Right.
He got up at 6:15, got home at 7:15, and worked every day and had a good life. That's what you got to do.
And that's what my father did. He worked at Ford Motor Company
Right.
forever. Worked
Right.
all his life.
Full day, every day,
Every
5
day.
days a week.
But we're saying most rich people, if you look up their backgrounds, say people got their
Right.
money wrong.
Yeah.
Right, it's true.
So, I'm going to do this. The governor campaign is not now while the presidency thing is going on.
Right.
That's going to be in 2 years.
Okay.
So they'll do the presidency thing. But what I want to talk about when comes time, after they get the presidential thing out of the way and get them inaugurated, beginning in January, then I'll have some money. I'll be better organized. I'll have a little office to work out of. Then we'll hook up the people.
Right.
And we'll be interstate. We'll have the MELANICS up in Michigan and all that. But the MELANICS, are they kind of anti-white or something? Are they kind of...
We have white supporters, actually. We have white supporters that support the organization.
Uh-huh.
They
So
have it listed.
they got a problem with white people, the
No.
MELANIC people?
No.
Okay, because I kind of got on my materials, that when I win, we all win, because we're going to get money spread around to the people.
Right.
The problem is not that there's not enough money, it's a distribution problem.
Right.
It's really, what does somebody need $90 billion for? Like Bill Gates got $90 billion. Come on. And he could stand on a street corner 24 hours a day for his whole life, giving out $100 and $500 bills and not even make a dent in his money.
Well, I'm going to point out another thing. A lot of these black mega churches could take care of the black neighborhood. Creflo Dollar said he wanted a $65 million jet.
Who?
Creflo Dollar.
I don't know who
Well,
that is.
he's a reverend, a TV reverend.
Uh-huh.
$65 million could feed a lot of people. To me, Creflo Dollar needs 65 million kicks in his ass. $65 million could take care of a lot of black people. It's
Where is the 55 million? What are you talking
he
about?
was talking about getting a 65 million. He wanted his congregation to buy him a $65 million jet.
Oh,
And $65 million could have fed a lot of black kids, built up our own communities. There's a lot of these black, greedy reverends and bishops. They're greedy with these mega churches, and they're saying, look at me, they're not helping out the community at all.
yeah, wow.
So I'm saying is we could take care of our own without, we don't need assistance from anybody else. If